whenua whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa tihei mauri ora. Ko rātou mangamanga te maunga, ko ipi piri te moana, ko nātuki matapaurua te waka, ko patu keha me Ngāti Kuta ngā hapu, ko ngā pui te iwi, ko rāwhati te whenua, ko rāwhati te marae, ko Sonny Bill Williams ahau. Kia ora. Kia ora. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sonny Bill Williams. I know what you're thinking, ladies. You're thinking, wow, Sonny Bill, when did you get pregnant? Kia ora everyone, my name's Mike King, and on behalf of the Key to Life Charitable Trust, I'd like to thank our trade union brothers and sisters on our side of the Tasman and on the other side of the Tasman for this wonderful gesture. $14,000. That's way above and beyond any expectation that we had. To the fighters who got in the ring, winners and losers, you know, it takes huge balls to get in there. You know, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. So I want to thank the fighters. You know, like I said, it takes great guts to get in there and do what you did. It takes a lot of training. So, you know, on behalf of our charity, I'd like to thank you. Our charitable trust started 5 years ago, and it just started out of an opportunity. I was asked to go and speak at a small rural school in Northland called Taipa Area School after 5 young people took their own lives in the space of 2 months. What I learned from those kids was our young people aren't the problem. They're not the problem. My generation, our generation, we're the problem. The expectations we place on young people, the pressures that we put on young people is, and I'm not talking about pushing them to do better. The expectation and the thing that we put on them by not discussing our problems, by sheltering our bad decisions and our dumb mistakes from our kids think that they're the only ones that have problems. They think that they're never going to be good enough. As a young fella growing up, my dad was my hero. I always wanted to, you know, my dad to look at me like I was an All Black and go, that's my boy. As a young fella growing up, my old man never did that. My old man always used to look at me and go, oh yeah, fuck the bucktooth one. He's going, get over here. You know, fucking, you know, and beat me around the head with love, always with love. But I never felt like I was good enough for my dad. I never felt like I was up to the mark with my dad. And it wasn't because my dad didn't love me. It's just my dad never, you know, he never talked about his mistakes. He never talked about his insecurities. And he always found faults in everything that I do. So that seeped into everything I do. So I've got a massive inner critic. Our kids out there now, they're running around. We're constantly pointing out the things that they do wrong. Our kids come home, you know, they'll tell you about 5 things that happen in their day. 4 are amazing, 1 is shit. What do we focus on? We focus on the shit. Always on the bad things that they're doing. So the result of that is you could have the greatest kid in the world. He could be the most amazing athlete in the world. He could be playing for South, score the greatest try anyone ever seen, score 5 tries against the Warriors tonight. Everyone talks about that game, but everyone goes, man, that was the greatest game of rugby league I ever seen. That kid comes off the paddock, all he's thinking about is the 1 tackle he missed. Because that's what's always been pointed out to him. So the stats say that 40% of our kids, 40% of kids will have a major crisis associated with some type of suicidal thinking before they leave school. Not in their lifetime, before they leave school. How many people got kids? 40% of our kids will have a major crisis associated with some type of suicidal thinking before they leave school. And guess what? It ain't no big thing. Fuck, I think about killing myself every day. Also think about fucking killing the guy in the car that cut me off. I also think about ringing up Hailey Berry and asking her out on a date. I also think about killing my kids. Fuck. Oh, don't look at me with judgment. You fuckers all think about killing your kids too. Having a thought is a normal part of being human. You're allowed to think. Thinking about killing your kids don't make you a killer, make you a thinker. It's just an option. That's all it is. Just an option. I look at my kids every day, I go, fuck, I've got options. I've got options. So having a thought, we need to normalize having thoughts, man. Having a thought doesn't, you know, thoughts are thoughts. But we fucking put labels on thoughts. That's a good thought. You can have that thought. That's a bad thought. You can't have that thought. What happens when you tell a kid they can't think about something? They fucking think about it. Go up to a 5-year-old, say you can't think about ice cream ever again, see what happens. Go up to a 13-year-old boy, say you can't think about titties ever again, see what happens. He'll be sitting there, leg will be shaking, go, fucking titties, titties, titties. Look at Joe Fleetwood, he think about titties right now. You're allowed to think. Thinking's just thinking, that's all it is, you know. But here's the problem. By us not talking to our kids about our dark thoughts, sharing with them that they're not alone, not pointing out their problems, pointing out our problems, the result is 80% of kids who have recurring thoughts of suicide never ask for help ever. Ever. And these are true stats. Because if 40% of our kids in school are going to have a thought associated with suicidal thinking, every single one of us in this room, every single one of us must have been approached by a little kid at some stage going, hey, I'm having these thoughts, can I talk to you about it? And I guarantee you, 90% of the people in this room have never had that conversation, ever. And my question to everyone here is why? How many of you, if you knew a kid was having suicidal thought, would do everything in your power to get them to a better place? Hands up. We would, right? We would. Here's the problem we've got, beautiful people. Our kids don't believe you. They don't believe you. They don't believe you. And what are we doing about that? You know, we're all so busy saying, what's the government doing? What are the mental health services? What are the DHBs doing? My question, what are we doing? What are we doing? How can we make it better for our kids to open up and talk to us? And the easiest way to do that, brothers and sisters, just change our attitude, man. Start focusing on the positive things that our kids are doing and then help them, empower them to fix the things that they're not doing. Make it their choice. Make it their choice. We got this saying, man. Whakaho whakaro, whakaho ao. Change attitudes, change the world. We're the ones that have to change our attitude, not our kids. Kids are born perfect. Every kid in the world's born perfect. Every time you criticize that kid, he's like a perfect little plane. Every time you criticize, you break a piece off and you glue it back. You break a piece off and you glue it back. You break a piece off and you glue it back. By the time they're 20 years old, everyone's going, how come that plane can't fly straight? Because you fucked it. You fucked it. So we have to change. We have to change. I challenge everyone to go home here after this. When you get home back to Australia, when you get home to your home, hug your kids. Tell them how amazing they are, because they're fucking phenomenal and they deserve it.
It's a great privilege, and I'm really honoured to give this cheque to you, Mike, on behalf of the Maritime Union of Australia and the Maritime Union of New Zealand. We ended up with 9 fights last night. 18 people come to support the charity, put their heart and souls into the fight night, and we managed to raise 14 grand for your fantastic charity.
Carl and Joe and everybody else, and thanks Russell Craig for looking after us too yesterday, and the whole branch. And especially all the fighters, I can't thank you enough. I'm really humbled to be a part of this, and that $14,000 raised was just something we should all be proud of.
Mate, I've got a brother who loves
First prize in the South Sydney, second prize in South Sydney's coming on, but also sign all the players, everything else too, you know. And that's what it's about. We'd like to thank the Warriors, also South Sydney, Angelo. Thanks for setting all that stuff up here for Dimmock, you know, it's fantastic, mate, you know, so
on behalf of my union and my branch, congratulations to everyone involved. You know, the MUNZ and the MUA are most certainly here to stay.